Kyries και κύριοι, καλησπέρα σας. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to honor Fulbright Foundation's U.S. and Greek grantees, its friends, donors, scholars, and staff. When I describe my year in Greece, I often feel like I'm describing a place I imagined rather than a place that actually exists, where golden light strikes marble columns and sparkles over the wine-dark sea, where rowdy, curious, and clever characters drink and dance, where tradition and innovation, creativity and chaos brew in a social and economic cauldron. As a fiction writer with an admittedly tenuous grip on reality, I've inhabited Greece the way a reader inhabits a book. Reading Greece this year has reawakened my senses and bound me to Greek and Syrian people whose mythic stories have challenged what I thought I knew about the crises and what I thought I knew about myself. I may be the newest reader of a book that spans millennia, but like Byron, Firmer, and Merrill, I've found a home in this country and hope to contribute to its pages. I came to Greece through its mythology, intrigued by a people whose gods were as raucous, petty, and vindictive as they were noble and just. The landscapes of Greece retain the mystery and power of mythology. Thanks to Fulbright, I visited many of these places where our world still seems to touch the world of the gods. I've walked along the Acheron River, the river of woe, whose spectral blue waters seem colored by the spirits of the dead. I've listened for prophecy in the rustling oak leaves at the Dona and felt stalactites drip onto the back of my neck as a silent boatman ferried me through the caves at Diros. I've traced Odysseus' homeward path through the Ionian Islands and paid tribute to the monsters Heracles had slain in the Peloponnese. Some days, traveling alone and outside my comfort zone, I walked on the edge of fear, knowing that beyond fear is awe, or theos, the proper attitude for approaching the gods. I saw Theos on a Nausan boy's face during Carnival when he put on the wax mask of the Yanitsaros for the very first time. I learned to play treks at UNHCR hotels and befriended an amorous Iraqi who had lost his legs as a child. My students at Aristotle shared their Yaya's spoon sweets and their own stories of first love, of coming out, of overcoming anxiety, of living with HIV. I visited their hometowns, stations of my Syrian friends' westward journeys since the borders closed. I know which cheeses each island produces and which dessert each village is famous for. Now initiated, I'm a voracious reader. A monk on Mount Athos gave me this advice: to write distinctly, live distinctly. In Greece, I learned a different way to live. I've always held myself apart from people, but here I was expected to spill into other people's lives, to reach over them for food, to let myself need and be needed by them. Friends who have visited me in Greece say that I speak louder in Greek, that I'm more willing to talk to strangers, more willing to ask for help. And they notice how Greek people open up to me when I speak the language. When a Greek asks me if I'm part Greek, I respond, "Ναι, η καρδιά μου είναι ελληνική." Completing my Fulbright year is a bittersweet accomplishment, like coming to the end of a beloved book. But as Greece has become part of me, so has my experience become part of the story of Greece. It's a story I've only begun to tell. Thank you.